Hi friends. Today I would like to speak and talk about this thing about the concept of predestination. Predestination, which will also tie to the idea of the parallel reality, parallel universe, alternate universe, or what so called, which the world is so intrigued about, which I will explain how this will relate. Okay. The concept of predestination is also quite tied to the Christian world, and it sort of divides them, especially between the Baptists and also the Calvinists, Arminians versus the Calvinists. Okay, so the Calvinist thinks that God has dictated everything in your life, so including your salvation, including your yeah, so it's like uh, there is no free will there. That's their contention. Whereas for the Baptists, they believe in the free will whereby we are not robots and we are free to choose. Uh, and therefore we may lose our salvation because we may choose to rebel against God and all that. Okay, so what I'm saying is this. Um, I realized that recently, okay, only recently, basically through the conversation with my wife just before I come home today from our marketing. I I was telling her, um, I went to the 八字 lady and she said that there are some career and some businesses that I'm not suitable to do. Okay, which is, for example, something to do with clothes, um, trees, clothes. Okay, that means to say that line of business is not suitable for me. And I commented to my wife about it. I told her I'm not suitable for selling clothes or anything to related to clothes. And I thought that is weird, but my wife straight away commented and retort back. She said, "Of course." She said, "Of course, because you are colorblind." And I was startled, and I was so surprised by her answer, which is it makes so much sense. If I have difficulty differentiating colors, how am I going to match colors with the clothing, right? And then she she proceeded to elaborate further. Even the line of architecture doesn't suit you. The line of design doesn't suit you. And I become startled again because design and architecture is one of my passion because I love drawings, right? I love drawings and I'm so good at drawings. When I was a kid, I always won prizes for drawing competitions. But she said that it's not suitable for me because of my color blindness. Okay, because design and architecture, you need to differentiate colors as well. All right, so I was very startled and I didn't realize it only after I interact with my wife. Yang diam dulu, I lagi record. Diam dulu, I lagi record. Okay, so that's my wife. She's very talkative. Anyway, um, yeah. So where was I? So I was very startled because I find that those are my passions. I'm supposed to be very good in those areas. And when I think back, when I decided to do computing in NUS, in National University of Singapore, back then, I regretted my decision so much because I chose to do computing, which is something which I'm so weak at, which is something which I hate. Okay. And my rationale back then was that I can study business from my father, from my family. I mean, Indonesians are very good businessmen, right? Why should I study businessmen from people who are working for others? Does it make sense? Why should you study business in the university from teachers who just teach and don't do any business? It's different if Elon Musk is teaching me about business or Jeff Bezos is teaching me about business. Who are these people in the business school? They are teachers. They got MBA in business and all that, but do they practice what they preach? Are they millionaires in the field that they are in? That's what my logic was thinking back then, right? So in the end, I say the richest people in the world are either they are doing computing, or they are doing real estate. Warren Buffett, right? So Warren, real estate and business, I can just learn it myself. Just buy a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and all those things. Yeah, and I should be fine. But what I know I'm weakest in was computing. It was my Achilles heels. I was so weak at it. The reason I know is when I went for a remedial class at informatics or something before my university, I find that my ADHD condition, okay, doesn't allow information that I'm disinterested in to enter my brain, meaning to say I have so much difficulty absorbing the computing knowledge. All right. And I was so frustrated because why can't I understand things like this? People less intelligent than me can understand. Why can't I understand? I was so angry. And so I decided and I said to myself, I will go to the best universities in Singapore and learn this subject and be the best at it. And guess what? I did that and I died there. I went into clinical depression for the next 3.5 years because I am forcing myself to do something which I hate. Okay, and all my life I was very regret. I regret my decision until now. Until now, I realize when my wife said that architecture is not for me, or when she said that the colors, any field related to colors doesn't suit me. It's pretty much everything. Doctors, design, architecture, everything. Drawing related, it all has to involve colors. That I will not be able to do well. Maybe I may not be able to do well. It's a handicap for me. Yeah. On the other hand, computing is just numbers, 0101 binary and all that, right? There's no colors involved, not much. Even engineering, there are colors involved. You need to know the colors of the code for the even chemistry. You need to know to be color sensitive. So pretty much it was only computing. It was only computing. Somehow my genetic makeup, my genes somehow make the decision for me to choose computing. It was the anger in me that I feel so challenged, and my ego that caused me to choose computing despite my hatred for it. And I realize now that given the given the if time if I can go back through time and choose again without the without the prior knowledge of the future, I think as many times as I choose and repeat the history 10,000 times, I think, and I'm very pretty sure, confident, I will still choose computing. And this comes to uh, this conclusion that I have. When you say predestination, it's like my genetic makeup, the my whole being, my genes, my chromosomes, genes, everything has been decided by by this by this what do you call the DNA and genes in me, in every one of us. Okay, and without us having prior knowledge of the future or seeing the future, we will still do and decide the same thing over and over again based on that limited knowledge that we have at that moment in time. Okay, so it cannot be the case that whereby back then when I was entering to decide to go to NUS, which course and all that, that I will choose other subjects. Will I choose business? Right now, I think maybe yes. I think because I went to depression, I definitely should have chosen business. But if you put me into a time machine and go back and erase my memory from the future and ask me to re-choose again, I will still choose computing. for that same reason that I've explained earlier. My ego, okay, my ADHD problem, okay, and my money related reasoning, and I cannot stand hypocrisy. The teachers who are teaching business, but they are not businessmen themselves. All this will force me to just choose one thing, and that is computing. Okay. So is this predestination? I don't know. Is my whole genetic makeup deciding it? Okay. Do I do God dictate that I'll choose computing, or do I decide for myself that I choose computing? God gave me the DNA and the genes like that, and I'm born like this, and that's why thereby the decision that I make. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. God gave me all these attributes, and me deciding on the path that I take in life. Okay, and it's sort of congruent into one. Okay, so meaning to say the Calvinists and Arminians or the Baptists, they are all both correct, but it all happens simultaneously. Okay, so it's not that God play dice. It's just how our makeup and our free will, it all happens at the same time somehow. Okay, and this also will lead me to the recently a lot of, I mean, my friends are into this alternative reality, parallel universe, and everything. Okay, which is theoretically, I would say it is possible in theory. Okay, but practically not in this lifetime, not in your children's lifetime, I think, because when we talk about alternate reality and alternative universe and all that, like what I said, God already set the limits in the attributes in that our DNA that limits our deciding to do different things and choosing different paths and options in life. Just sort of solidify that path, that one path towards our destiny. Okay. But when you say about alternate reality, alternate universe, it happens when you are able to decide on different, to make different decisions at different point in time, which I have proved to you that we can't. Okay. But if we can, then that reality exists. Okay. But again, I would like to caveat this. Basically, we are now living in the three-dimension world. Okay, three dimension. There are different dimensions. There are fourth dimension, fifth dimension. Some people can even imagine up to 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I believe the parallel universe, maybe it exists in the 8 or 9 dimension or whatever. Okay, which I cannot imagine at this moment in time. But going back to the Bible, when it says that in the end time, some Christians would be raptured. Or when you see that Jesus, when he's resurrected, he rises to the heavens, and in the end times he will come back the same way that he arise to heaven. The same day he will descend to the Mount of Olives or something like that. That's the name for Armageddon. Yeah, I would say when you talk about the heavens, when you say about God's throne, okay, it's not in this dimension. We are talking about maybe 8, 9, 10 dimension. So when you as a Christian are raptured, what I feel is that you, so, there comes a point in time where humans are transcend this three dimension, and it goes up to the 8, 7, 8, 8, 9 dimension. That's where the heaven is, right? That's my what I think. And even so, even so, when I talk about parallel universe, it's quite impossible because that means to say there are different version of God in the different dimension, meaning to say that God is not omnipotent, not all powerful, not everywhere and everything. Yeah, which there's only one God in one timeline in one time. One. He transcends everything. That means there is no parallel universe. It's a make believe based on what is theoretically possible, but it's not because of our genetic makeup. Yeah. So that's my opinion again. Um, it's up to you to how you want to digest this information. I hope it helps, and so that the Christian world will not be so divided among the Protestants as well, among the Calvinists, hyper Calvinists, Armenians, Baptists, and so there is a division in the kingdom of God because this is what the devil and the evil one wanted. When you squabble among yourselves, you have no time to save others. You have no time to heal others because you are so busy wanting to be right. Being right is so important to you than saving others. Yeah, which is a waste of time. So thank you and see you next time.